everybody. Welcome to Ask the Anabolic Doc, starring Dr. Thomas O'Connor and brought to you by his websites, anabolicdoc.com and metabolicdoc.com, both of which you can get a copy of his new book, America on Steroids, A Time to Heal. Joining us now from his office in the lovely state of Connecticut, Dr. Thomas O'Connor. How are you, sir?
Excellent, Ron. Very happy. Beautiful day. Opening day for the Boston.
Not a baseball fan. When fans are happy, they're less, they treat everyone else nicer. So it's good to see.
It's a beautiful cultural event.
Exactly. So got some great questions. You had some from your own social media. Do you want to kick us off with those?
Yep. So it looks like we have someone, and again, I'd like to make an announcement. Everyone who wants me to answer questions just from my video and my media, I'm sending everyone over to the forum, Ask the Anabolic Doc. It's on the No BS forum, correct, Ron?
No bull.
I'm sorry, no.
It's the same.
No bull. It's one less word. No bull forum. So we're just funneling everything over there because it builds up over the week and it's better. We put out a great video. I have a new videographer. We made a beautiful video on cardiovascular disease related to testosterone, the truth versus the untruth, evidence-based with Dr. Nolan. That came out an hour and a half ago. And I did a really big video on Clomid, PCT versus TRT. And that's where some of these questions come up with. So I think the first one, I actually don't have those in front of me, but so I
have one with I believe he came to MD today because of you. So thank you, doctor.
Okay.
So this is Mike 1644, and he says, I recently saw a video on YouTube on the topic of erectile dysfunction by Dr. O'Connor. He suggested to post a question on the Muscular Development Weekly podcast. This is not a podcast, so that's okay. With Ron Harris, posting the question here. My question is, have you ever heard of the, I don't know how to pronounce this, Priapus shot for ED?
Priapus, yeah.
Okay, Priapus. It is a method that uses one's own plasma-enriched growth factors, or PRP, into specific areas of the penis. The Priapus shot uses blood-derived growth factors to rejuvenate the penis. I would not mind getting your take on this. Rejuvenate the penis. Well,
this is great. This is so we're getting away from the heart a little bit, which is great, obviously. So this is the stuff I deal with, as an internist and a lot of the sexual issues of men. So this is something that I did some research on it real quick to kind of see up to date where we are.
Yeah.
Remember PRP, Ron? Remember the injections in the shoulder? It's platelet-rich protein. They take your blood, they spin it out, and they take the Buffy code. They really concentrate down your own platelets and the associated growth factors, if you will, and they just inject it back into, for an example, the classic one 10 years ago was into your shoulder, into the rotator cuff. Wow. And if you have a very good doctor, there is literature that said it basically safely introduces your own growth factors into your soft tissue for what's called non-healing soft tissue.
Right.
So like your tendons, like I tried it. I'm not sure it worked. I think it might have worked a little bit. And I get so kind of impatient, that I just did it once and I didn't. You have to go back, doc, you got to come back and do it now. Okay. And my rotator cuff, supraspinatus, is partially torn.
Yeah.
So that's classic, right? Everyone benching and stuff has that, and the guys throwing, it's a classic injury, the rotator cuff, supraspinatus, infraspinatus. So I did it, and basically in the end, the literature for this, if you look for the orthopedic guys, you talk to enough of those guys, they're going to say that it may help. This is for the orthopedic stuff.
Yeah.
And it's giving your growth factors, and sometimes they actually add Toradol, which is a non-steroidal, and or corticosteroids.
Okay.
So that's just like a steroid shot. Cortical, like a cortisone shot, right, Ron?
Well, but the difference would be, doctor, if I'm not mistaken, because I've had cortisone shots and they're basically pain relievers, temporary. I used to get them in my shoulder and it would relieve the pain for a few months, and then eventually the pain just always came back. So where these are supposed to actually promote healing.
Well, here's the thing. So not all, and I know we're going to end up talking about the penis. They're injecting this PRP in the penis, and there's actually one doctor that has. If you look for that Priapus, he has a trade name. He actually registered that. He has a patent on that. So it's not that doctors can't actually do it,
right?
But it's either the technique or exactly something he's done. So this guy's patent this. It's very interesting. So, but getting back up to where it came from PRP was used for soft tissue, non-slow and chronically damaged tendons before you go to the operating room, or if you get corticosteroid injections like cortisone. Cortisone actually breaks it down, right? So cortisone injections, that's why docs they're very leery. They let you do it like every season, every couple times a year, because it just wipes out inflammation, Ron. And that, so hey, I feel great. That's great. But it actually, technically, it's damaging. It's actually catabolic steroid, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So you got to be careful with doing too many cortisone injections. And guys know this. People know that. Doctors know it. So that's nothing new. So then they came up with PRP, and then they have stem cell. Now, let's go to the penis.
Sure.
So 2 or 3 years ago, I started seeing men coming in that have, these are men, Ron, that have significant erectile dysfunction. Hopefully that, so when you have ED, erectile dysfunction is variable. There's a little bit of ED, and then there's severe, where a man can have severe, complete erectile dysfunction, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so, doc, I just did a consult an hour ago, 2 hours ago, a man that came in, and he very confidentially told me he's 52. He said, doc, let's just face it, my erections are not as good as they used to be. I can't hold an erection for long.
Yeah.
This is the truth. This is what I love helping men with. So that's a multifactorial issue. So this man is asking a question. This is an injection in the penis, my Lord. There are other injections in the penis that we use, which is these are nitric oxide. These are just direct injections that men will use that have complete erectile dysfunction, and other drugs, beyond Levitra, Cialis, those are PD5 inhibitors. You take the pill, it actually gets in your penis, and you have a stronger erection because of nitric oxide.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have testosterone and other drugs. Those are basically drugs for the brain that are aphrodisiacs. Testosterone is really an aphrodisiac, right?
Right. Because I don't want this all to be about ED, but I mean, the basic breakdown is a lot of guys get on these ED drugs when they really should. They're low T, and if they had normal test levels, they wouldn't need the ED drugs. So
the interesting, Ron, this is why I love this show. We start with one thing, and we're kind of launching it. We're gonna come back, definitely answer the question, but it allows me to give an answer something. It's such a complicated and such an important topic. So, and with men that have low T, Ron.
Yeah.
A lot of them go to doctors, and again, I'm not putting the doc down. You know what they walk out of the doctor's office with? Viagra. Not testosterone. And it's useless because the Viagra is treating his penis when they should be treating his brain. He has low T.
Right.
So anyway, and but in the end of the day, it is pretty simple. It's the brain. It's adjusting for all these disease states, including diabetes and heart disease and thyroid disease, depression, the brain, stopping medicines that could hurt you, and then, of course, checking T and getting it to a great level if you need it. And then you organically look at the penis with it's called microvascular or vascular issues. So if men do this shot for 2 reasons, Ron. And I'm going to tell them what I think about it in the end, because I have a lot of experience with a bunch of patients now in the last 2 or 3 years. So men are using it to also enlarge their penis, Ron.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Priapus. Where do I get this?
Priapus. Yeah, Priapus. So it's actually the name of a Greek god. I think it's the Greek god of I don't know, strength, or I don't. Again, I don't get to research this stuff too much, and I'm just winging. I have to answer these questions kind of live because I'm so busy.
Right.
So but this is my answer to it is a bunch of men that I've seen do it. It doesn't work. And the dangerous thing is you're injecting into your penis, and you can get a scar tissue buildup. Again, I want this show to be for doctors as much as it is for men and patients and everyone else. If a doctor says I'm wrong, well, write in, prove to us how we're wrong.
Sure.
Because I'm not seeing. I have patients that do require injections to get an erection. Okay, that's called Alprostadil. Have you heard about that, Ron?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I heard years ago of something with what was it called? Something that started with a T.
Trimix.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
Okay, Ron, I prescribe this for men. This is a serious life, Ron. I have men that they don't, Viagra doesn't work, testosterone doesn't work,
Yeah.
and they're, I'm not going to say they're too far gone. Men in the end, men in the end are suffering because they end up have to get, you ever hear of prosthesis?
I have. It's like they get an implant with like an air bladder that they have to
Yes.
inflate, right?
Yes, Ron. Now,
Thanks.
Ron, this is, you and I are healthy. We're young, healthy, and even young men have erectile dysfunction. Believe me, the urologists in New York City that I refer to, they're very busy because once I take a man in and I clean up and I stabilize all the medical issues, Ron,
Yeah.
I still can't get all the sexual. It's just the truth of the nature of the truth of the issue. So men that are injecting these medicines, they do it for an erection, and if a man has pyronies or some of these other issues, when they can cause this, they can worsen fibrous disease because they're injecting along the corpus cavernosum, and I've seen priapism, which is where the penis, stays erect for like 24 hours, forget 3 hours. And I've seen damaged people. They have to cut it open and they have to open it up.
Come on.
Ron, but I've seen all this. This is why I want this show to be, this is important. I'm an expert in this stuff. I'm not a urologist.
Right.
I'm basically an andrologist. I'm an internal medical expert that deals with men. And certainly part of my dealing is sex.
Right.
So to answer the guy's question, I don't like it. I've had I'm thinking of patients even a month ago that went to an expert and had multiple injections.
Mm-hmm.
He came to me very scared, and I sent him to a urologist because I didn't know what, this guy had damage and his penis was bruised, and it didn't help him. So my answer to that is, the lid, it's not ready for prime time. It's not. I don't think it works.
So I'm confused as to what this shot, the Priapus shot, is this for? Is it every time that they want to get an erection they do this, or is it?
No.
It's
very good question. Very good. You're right. So the other ones, the other injections are on demand. You take them on demand.
Right. Caberjet.
You're in the
That's
room.
the one I was trying to think of. Caberjet.
Yeah, Caberjet.
Yeah.
Caberjet.
That was an old time one, I believe.
Yeah. And then Trimix is where I mix these with pharmacies, wholesale pharmacies, and these are private pharmacies that will mix, and they put different combinations of alprazolam and other medicines in. And Ron, these things are these are lifesavers, bud. But let's be honest. These are men that they're teeny. It's an insulin syringe.
Yeah.
And they're injecting it's like an insulin shot, but they're doing it into the side of the penis, Ron.
With the hopes of enlarging the penis? Is that
No. They get an immediate erection.
Okay. So, but this Priapus shot, are people doing that, trying to get larger penises?
No. And I love we're asking these because you're asking a question that everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
And for men that are getting older, and the reality is, Ron, you have to be humble, buddy. You got to stay humble because, we're men. You get older, things happen. I have guys, and it's not, the steroid users and erectile dysfunction. Let me make a statement. 95 to 98% of it is fixed up with testosterone, cleaning up the other medical issues, and PD-5 inhibitors.
Okay. So
that's good news. But, there are some guys that beyond that have massive depression. They have congenital problems with the penis. They have structural problems and damage to the penis. And you put it, so this is what me and urology guys see. And, but I would tell this, sir, my recommendation would be, I did the research on it. I have a bunch of patients that have done it over the course of the last 2 years. And I've not seen one patient say to me, Doc, rock on.
Okay. Last penis-related question, and then we'll move on, I promise. But while I got the, I know you're not a urologist, but I'm sure you know quite a bit versus a layperson. Is it natural for a man as he ages for the quality of the erections to go down somewhat, or not?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to be. I'm an internist. Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, the nature of the beast. Do you have a 9-year-old guy with a rock solid? No, no, no. Can you have a 9-year-old guy with an incredible? I mean, it's subjective. The guy's full of shit. But the truth of the matter is this: does he still get an erection? Can he have sex? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but the numbers are very clear. When you get to the age of about 40 to 50,
Yeah.
about half of men, if not more, will have some diminished form of erectile function.
Yeah. So is
And
this
that's
why?
without,
And
that's
that's why
forget steroids.
Viagra and Cialis are, have made
Game on.
$100 billion in revenue, right?
$100 billion, $1 trillion. So that's why, this is why I want men to talk, to come in, and the most common disease leading to erectile dysfunction is
Age. No.
excellent diabetes. But again, it's my stuff that I own. It's the cardiac stuff. It's
Heart disease.
Well, with aging, what happens? Your sugar levels are getting out of whack. You're hypertensive. That's massively damaging to the penis.
Yeah.
And your lipid. So the risk factors for the heart. We've known for 20 years. Kevin Billups. He's a urologist. I know I've said his name before. Kevin Billups he was at Johns Hopkins. Great guy. He showed up at one of our meetings 15 years ago at UConn Grand Rounds, and we're cardiology guys, right? I was always invested more in the cardiology stuff.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this urology surgeon shows up. We're like, who the hell's this clown? Who's a surgeon coming in our grounds? This is not surgery day, pal. Get out of here. And he goes, I'm gonna teach you guys something. Because he's a urologist, so he sees guys with erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
Right? More than we do,
Sure.
at least back then. So he goes, I'm going to teach you guys something about cardiology you don't know. Okay, tell us. He goes, well, young men that have erectile dysfunction, that's going to be an early warning sign for heart disease. Boom. The guy is that's like common news. Like any person in the street knows that.
But this was 20 years ago?
15 years ago. Yeah, 20. Wow. Yeah. Kevin Billups. So now if you read all these little flyers and all these, these health reports, they will talk. Did you know that your hemoglobin A1C and your blood pressure and your lipid level, there's a correlation between that and your erectile function. Men, Ron, men are coming to me because I'm a men's health guy. I've opened the first only internal medicine men's health clinic in our country, and we're booming. And it's like men come to me for sex, testosterone, and sex.
Yeah.
Half are steroid users, half are not. You can come to me if you haven't used a steroid. I don't just take care of steroid users. Please.
I didn't think you did.
This is my show. Rock on.
Yeah.
So, I'm proud of this. Things are politically in a great place. We're bringing a lot of attention to men that need care of steroid users. It's coming. We've brought it up above ground. But the reality is, Ron, these guys don't come in because they're concerned for their hearts.
Yeah,
they can't get it up.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's. When something's affecting your immediate day-to-day life, I want to bang my wife and I can't, or something, that's a little more disconcerting than, I wonder how my heart's doing,
Ron, it's so amazing. It's so, that's, guys don't come into me really for the heart. I end up getting them involved with the heart, and oh, thanks, I really appreciate that, Doc. It's really cool, thank you.
Yeah.
But that's not why they initially make the trip. Anyway.
Are you ready for the Swaminator?
Swaminator, let's go.
Today's special question from the Swaminator. Doc, thanks for your thorough answers. I don't know if the guys on here realize how fortunate we are to have this resource available to us. There are far too many guys living with blinders on, hoping that everything works out for them. Hope is not a successful management model no matter what the issue. Work, marriage, health, workout, etc. You provide us with hard facts coupled with your professional anecdotal advice based on years of experience in the field. I appreciate that. So here's my question. Nothing to do with the heart this time. I'm close in age to you and a former competitive powerlifter. I've been lifting weights consistently since 1984. In the past year or so, the constant nagging pain in both shoulders and both knees is having an increasing negative impact on my quality of life. I often wake up at night due to shoulder pain and have to adjust in bed. I do not have any injuries. It is simply wear and tear. I know you're not a fan of DECA, which is quote-unquote supposed to help with joint pain. I know you're not supposed to give medical advice online or whatever the rule is. So let me try to format this question in a way you can answer. And this is all caps. Hypothetically speaking, if a person were to be suffering from these same symptoms, what medications, either prescription or over the counter do you believe would benefit this person? Please list in order of effectiveness what works best and so on. Thanks in advance. Sincerely, the Swami.
I love it. You know, this whole show is just his show. I mean, it's just like
he's the all-star.
But he's throwing us. I mean, this guy's tossing us bones that are just the best. I mean, so Swami, great job. And this is kind of a part 2 of the pain question from the week before, which I forgot if it was him or someone else.
Yeah.
So I did a review. You know, I see these. Ron gives me these the day before, and I kind of think about what I would initially do, and then I do a little research and to make sure I want to give this hit it for everyone. So osteoarthritis. It's the most common type of not rheumatoid. That's when rheumatoid that's an autoimmune disease. Osteoarthritis. Everyone's going to get it. It's wear and tear. Powerlifters, man, me, my knees, my hips, my back, woo! So when you hear degenerative disc disease, that's osteoarthritis of your low back, of the lumbar sacral spine, the cervical spine. My neck is tight. I mean, you can't turn much. It's osteoarthritis of the neck. Obviously, the hips and the knees are the big players. Right. So, you know, let's talk about Decadrobolin.
Sure.
Am I a big fan of Decadrobolin? Swami, I'd love to live on Decadrobolin. Who wouldn't? But the truth is, the studies are quite clear. It goes right back to the heart again. The Decadrobolin again. I'm no Bill Llewellyn. You know, I'm a medical guy. But if you look at, and Bill's awesome. I mean, Bill's the real bro scientist of the world to me. Right. You know, read his book. And so this medicine, it has abilities to increase basically in the shoulder. I always think of the shoulder joint. It increases your own I believe they're the osteoblasts. Yeah. And yeah, I'm just trying to wing it. And it actually increases basically lubrication, if you will. And I'm going to get to that in the end with it. I'm going to give you a good tip today of something that I see that you could actually use. So that's what DECA does. And there's studies from Europe. These are real medical orthopedic studies, Ron. Yeah. So Decadrobolin, and then so many guys will tell you, you know, Doc, I throw the, you know, test in DECA. I live a little bit, and then it causes some bloatiness, right, Ron? We all know that. Sure. Guys can get bloated. We know that it's gonna, when it's taken with test. Who's gonna take DECA without test?
I'm sure some people do.
In the beginning, and then they get DECA dick. Right. And then we can go into that's a whole discussion. And Swami, you know the way I kind of like to bring it all together. Yeah. So in the end of the day, Decadrobolin, if you're really getting that nandrolone decanate, you know, they're looking at that model, Swami, some real experts. That's what they're trying to work on. They're trying to make a drug, a SARM, if you will, that is just like DECA for the, come on, I want my mom to be on this. Who doesn't want their mother? I mean, we're falling apart. We're getting sarcopenia. We're getting osteoporosis in the bones for women, mainly older men. Osteoarthritis. This is degenerative disease of getting older. It's called it's sarcopenia. That's why you want to give steroids. But forget the ethics. You want to maintain a 95-year-old guy. He could stay home or with his wife if he can just walk around and fix dinner for himself and get up and if he falls, it's not a joke. You can't up. They can't get up because their legs are too weak. Right. So, getting back, so Decadrobolin, man, is a great drug for strength. It's pretty. Otherwise, people know safe, but it does cause bloating, hypertensive, and there's been studies that it causes the LV. There's my left ventricle again. It's going to cause that to grow, people. So you can't live on test and DECA for too long, and if you do, you got to block the effects. So there's my answer on Decadrobolin and why it would be great to use DECA. It would be lovely because you would have nice, strong muscles forever, and not for competing, but for life. Yeah. So here's the deal: when you have osteoarthritis in the medical clinic, lose weight. Train, exercise, physical therapy, right, Swami? Physical therapy, weight loss, NSAIDs. We do prescribe NSAIDs. This is the standard Tylenol, acetaminophen, which is not an NSAID, but it's the #1 drug that's given by geriatric doctors for people that have osteoarthritis. It's not NSAIDs because those can cause medical complications. Motrin and Aleve. You got to be careful with those if you're 75 or even younger, if you have stomach problems or you have heart disease or heart failure. So be very careful. So we use acetaminophen. Doc, I've used my acetaminophen. It's called Tylenol. It doesn't work. It's a joke. What else So we start combining, Swami. We start combining. We give physical therapy. We try to lose weight. Then we use braces. I'm actually coming up with my own brace line. It's going to be really cool. I've got a buddy of mine. We're designing a really special kind of a cool brace line, kind of from like bench press material and also like NASCAR rubber wheels. We have some cool stuff we're putting together. So in the end, what can you do? And then, of course, we have, they do steroid injections, but that's going to break down the intra-articular, we're talking the knee and the hip here, and the back. If you inject cortisone too much, yeah, you could walk around better for a few days or a week, about half the time, but you're in theory, which is true actually, you're deteriorating that joint. Okay, so where are we at? So let's talk about what supplement, right, Ron? People hate me sometimes because I don't look at the supplements. So I look at supplements that really work. First of all, you know what diet really works for osteoarthritis? And I try to do it as best as I can. You ready for this? Mediterranean. So inflammation is a big piece of aging. And we all know that osteoarthritis is really not inflammatory arthritis. Osteoarthritis is really not. Rheumatoid arthritis is inflammatory arthritis. We've all learned that in medical school. But osteo is a kit and caboodle. It's just destructive wear and tear. And there is evidence that if you take a diet that is low in, again, red meats, high in plants, fruits and vegetables, omegas. So it's the whole heart health thing. Okay. It's very true though, Swami. And actually the literature showed, remember I talked about the free fatty acids and the omegas, the fish oil for the heart? Well, remember I said the data for that actually showed to be better for this. So there is data that if you take between 3 and 4 grams, 2 to 4 grams a day of different types of omegas. And remember, those EHA, DHA ratios, I'm not an expert in this stuff. Whatever you want, whatever that happens to be, you could read it. That actually really does, apparently in studies, knock down the inflammatory, that damage for the osteoarthritis, and people walk better, they play tennis better. Again, this is not for 600-pound benchers, but even for them, maybe it's going to help. Next thing, so cold fish, canola oil, olive oil, dietary, Mediterranean, I'm just reading, anti-inflammatory foods. But here's my secret. You ready for my secret?
Yes.
Guys, years ago, I've seen them injecting Synvest, not only into the knees, but into their shoulders. So Synvest, this is what I want. Again, this is not my advice. I'm just telling you what I've done. I've seen my patients do. It's and of course, glucosin and chondroitin, right? You've seen that, glucosamine?
Yeah.
That actually does work. The studies have shown that it works, Ron, for the knee osteoarthritis.
Injecting it?
No, I'm sorry, the pill, the oral form. So
you're talking about a synthetic synovial fluid?
So here you go. Synthetic hyaluronic acid there's 2 things. Synvest, and it's called, there's 2 types, and they're from rooster comb. You know the rooster comb? The roosters? So it's hyaluronic acid. It's basically, they concentrate that. Now, let me tell you something. 3 injections of that in your knee, it does work.
Wow.
So it's the FDA has cleared it for osteoarthritis of the knee for intra-articular injections, 3 injections. For Synvest is probably better than the other one. I'm not trying to do some kind of I don't get paid by them. But I see this in my regular primary care practice. Right. And I swear it helps people. I've seen guys going for injections of Synvest in their shoulder when they have, again, rotator cuff, when they have issues with basically not fully torn, but partially torn rotator cuffs. And if they have bursitis, and if you don't want me to inject it, you want an orthopedic surgeon who's really good at working on the shoulder. But I have a guy that's a big hunter. He's like an international hunter, safari guy. Okay. And he swears by this stuff twice a year in his shoulder. And, it's just, so he has labral, when the labral, so rotator cuff and labral tears in the labrum. and he has a doctor, very good doctor, not some kind of a witch doctor.
Witch doctor.
It's not a witch doctor. He really is a great orthopedic surgeon. His insurance won't cover it because it's not covered by insurance. Synvest actually is covered if you have osteoarthritis. If you have insurance, it will be. I think Medicare even covers it. It's legitimate use once you've blown by, all the medicines and your physical therapy, and you're still suffering. Your insurance will actually pay for Synvest.
Oh wow. Okay.
So,
I want to back up and ask you had a tear in your supraspinatus, correct?
Yeah.
What did you end up doing for that to resolve it?
So here's what I did. So I had a partial tear on both sides, and the doctor I saw at UConn, very 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 good guy, takes care of all the athletes. He said, Doc, you know what? He said, Tom, if you go in the OR, it's not a full tear, so we could tear it. We could try to repair it, but it's probably best if you work around it and just do physical therapy and the bands, the training, and do, bench with your bench shirt on.
Yeah.
And Ron, it's been a couple years, and you know what? When I'm benching really heavy, I do get a lag. My right side it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? Look at this. Shoulder feels perfect, and I never got it replaced. I backed off, and I trained around it, and I didn't need the surgery, and I feel great.
Oh, look at this. Ow. See? Not so great.
But there's different. I have a buddy of mine right now that he's pretty beat up in there, and he just can't do it right now because he's just too busy with some other stuff in his life, and he's not ready to be like this, where he has to walk around like he's just not ready to go in 4 months of not using his arm really.
Yeah, who's got the time for that?
Ron, but let me tell you, so it's not, so the rotator cuff, when guys, powerlifting, bodybuilding, benching, every single one of us, Ron.
Yeah.
I've torn the distal bicep tendon off the bone on the left side.
Yeah.
The proximal one here partial. Both rotator cuffs are beat up. The labrum is definitely beat up. Osteoarthritis abound. I mean, it's the nature of the beast. So it's like, it's as you get older, that, Ron. You got to train around the injuries. How do you do it?
I mean, I'm at a loss because I can't. I train around it, but it's still a bummer because I know, for me, it's all about the way the physique looks. I don't care how much but there is a correlation between, when I was able to do much heavier overhead pressing, my shoulders, they were thicker and fuller than they are now. I can get a pump all day long and I can go on machines, but back in the day, shoulder presses with 120s any day of the week, I could bang out 12 of those. And when I was really feeling my oats, 130s, 140s, and now it's just a distant memory. It's kind of a bummer for me.
Isn't it? It just sucks getting old, Ron. That's why I'm trying to do, at least for the heart. I'm trying to slow this train down. But you know what? The body, Swaminator, the physical muscle, the physical muscular body, the joints, man, these orthopedic guys, believe me, if someone can come up with some, real cure, it's going to be stem cell. Oh, they do have stem cells, Swami. So, and the stem cells, my opinion, it's not ready for prime time. I don't think it's working. But you guys, I'm an internist, so I'm talking from my experience with my patients. I have a couple guys that have spent 15 grand, 25 grand on the shoulder stuff. One guy said it helped him, but I think that guy, I love that guy, but I think I don't know if it really did.
Wow.
And the other guys told me, Doc, it's a total waste. It's a waste of money.
Wow. 25 grand on nothing. I'd be pretty upset. Stem cells. Okay.
This is not PRP. PRP actually may work a little bit, but I just don't know. It kind of wears off. I don't know,
Yeah, Kevin Leveroni swears that he had 6 of those treatments on his knee, and it went from a pain level 9 out of 10 down to a 0.
Ron, look, I think PRP clinically, the anecdotal response, guys do it. They have to go for a couple. They have to go like Kevin. You can't just go for 1 or 2. You have to go for a bunch of them. But a doctor, a good orthopedic doctor that my doctor told me, he said, Tom, you know what? You could try. You got to do a bunch of these. I'm not trying to sell it to you, but he goes, it's not going to hurt you. So I like that. PRP, PRP in the shoulder is not, because this is a doctor who's very good. I mean, you can get infections, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
But I mean, he's using sterile technique. He's a very good orthopedic. He's very good at what he does. He goes in and out. He's very clean, very sterile, and there was no infection. So it was painful. But apart from that, he said, you know what? It's not that PRP is not going to hurt you like cortisone will hurt you.
Oh, I see.
And PRP in the penis, that I feel is damaging because you're going to get scar tissue in the penis. I've seen it.
So, final word on the penis is you really shouldn't be sticking needles in there, period.
If you need to stick the needle in, it's going to be like you said before. It's the trimix. It's the alprazolam, and it's used specifically when you want an erection and you need it because you have to use that to get an erection.
Okay. Final question. Another guy who watched one of your videos, called himself FV133, regarding YouTube video regarding Clomid as a replacement for TRT. I was a mild user of anabolics, maybe twice a year, 8 to 10 weeks, from approximately age 25 up until 35 years of age. I'm now 59 and am feeling the effects of low T. Would Clomid only work for me after being off for so long? Regards from UK.
Wow. So Ron, my Clomid video talked about Clomid for single agent Clomid, which is just using Clomid by itself for PCT.
Yeah.
Versus using Clomid by itself for just a regular guy who's never done steroids for TRT. That was my video.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. And I thank you so much, UK. I love it. And that video is blowing up and it's generating a lot of noise, which is great. And so my response is you could try Clomid, but what my experience has been, men that have been steroid users, Clomid, it's just not only useless, it's toxic for them. It just doesn't, so it's the anti-estrogenic effects, Ron, overpower any endogenous production of testosterone that's produced. You understand that?
I do. I'm just wondering, why would someone who has low T, why would they think that would be a better option? Clomid,
perfect.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Because they want to stay away from the needles. They don't want to do testosterone. I'm telling you what my patients tell me.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose their testicle size. They don't want to lose their hypothalamus and endogenous. This is endogenous. This is your testosterone, Ron.
Sure.
So your balls don't shrink and you maintain fertility right there. Those are the top.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So and beyond that, it's steroid, and when veteran steroid users, which of course I love these guys, they come to me. I'm the one they trust.
Yeah.
Because that's half my business now. And they've told me, Doc, can you do a video and these doctors out there, thank you for helping doctors, but they're giving Clomid, it's a joke. They're killing people. Wow. So if you're a steroid user and your brain has experienced years of androgen, not to mention massive androgen cycles, Ron.
Yeah.
25 milligrams, even 50, even 100 milligrams of Clomid. It's useless. You'll probably get a sperm count. You'll probably generate a sperm count sooner or later.
Yeah.
And your testosterone may go up to 400 or 600 or something like this. But these guys, we don't know, Ron. Again, this is why I'm postulating this. That's why I need to do the research. I'm close to getting some research going on, really cool research. Clomid used in different doses on men that have prior experience with steroids versus men that have not had prior experience with steroids that have low T from organic reasons. So this is my first study. I mean, and if someone wants to go take it from me, go ahead, go nuts. Let me know how it goes. Let me know. I'd love to know how it goes. A randomized, prospective, double-blinded, legitimate study. Good luck.
Well, I hope nobody steals your idea, Tom.
I'm full of ideas. That's good with me.
Okay.
I'm doing this for the good of men, and that's the truth of the matter. So this guy, I mean, you're 59, sir. Consider TRT.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not your doctor. This is not, is this on? Is this microphone on? I mean, I'm not.
I hear you. You're not his doctor.
I'm not your damn doctor, sir. Disclaimers are all over the place right now.
Yeah.
You should go see a doctor, and if you have low T, why at 59 would you do Clomid? I give Clomid to men that I use TRT that want to maintain fertility because they're 39 or 29.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to be good with answering direct questions now, Ron.
So my direct question: what's the major danger of taking Clomid that way?
Here's the deal. I have guys on Clomid for 5 years now. Vision, there's something with the vision which is very interesting that I've never seen, but if you read about it, you'll see it's a big warning.
Wow.
Very interesting. I don't know, green vision. I've just never seen this. I've talked to ophthalmologists about it. They're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So you monitor someone, and then there's a remote chance, like any endogenous increase of an androgen or a hormone like this, that you can get DVT, Ron. You know what DVT is? DVT?
Diverticulitis or something?
No, very good. I'm just busting your balls. It's a deep venous thrombosis, a clot,
Oh, okay.
a clot in your leg, and it can be a PE, but it's very remote. And you know, we see it on guys on testosterone too, but I'm not sure that even TRT really upticks so much your risk for DVT. But it is in the literature, and I've seen it. But I've thousands of men I've seen on testosterone, so I've seen a bunch of DVTs.
Yeah.
But those are otherwise, over years, not what they're called, they're steroid naive men, right? So men that have never used testosterone or steroids, and they have low T, you give them Clomid, they maintain a pretty good response on Clomid as a single agent for years, and they do lose some response, and then over the years I've had to increase the doses slightly for these men to maintain like a high normal testosterone.
Yeah.
But you know what, Ron? The guys I'm thinking of are really healthy. They're really fit. They don't have diabetes. They're super. They don't even have hypertension. I'm thinking of these are really health conscious guys that they had low normal T, low T, and then a doctor put them on androgel. I'm not putting the doctor down. And the guy was like, I really don't want to shrink my balls. I don't want to be on, this wipe on TRT. So he was going to give me injections. So I've come to you, Dr. O'Connor. What are my options? And I said, well, the only option you have is to maintain testosterone, not to mention keep the testicles like this, is without doing combined TRT and HCG, which I don't want to get into the bro science and the anti-aging fights anymore.
Sure.
I've grown beyond this. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it's ridiculous. I think it's not sustainable, and actually probably shuts the balls down in the end anyway. And that's the combined use of TRT with HCG. But I do prescribe it for young men because they need TRT, and if we give small doses of TRT concomitantly, for some men, it really does cruise them through, and they maintain fertility, Ron.
Okay.
And their testicles maintain pretty good size. But then I've checked the testicles, and I say, sir, with all honesty, your testicles are atrophied. And then I get a slap in the face. Okay. Hey, look, this is just how it goes. I mean, these guys are great guys, and I have a good relationship with all my patients, and that's nothing else matters more than me than my relationship with my individual patient. I build myself on this. This is what I built myself on. But Clomid, for these individual men, it's working great for them, and then I have to increase a little, and I know they're super fertile because I've checked, and their sperm counts are off the chart. And these are men that like to have a decent ejaculate. Okay, when you're on androgen, Ron, when you're on testosterone, your ejaculate goes down.
Well, see, this is what I was going to ask you. I don't want to make this but this is a man's show, and I don't get the chance to ask these questions with anyone that actually knows the answers ever. So when the testicles shrink, on androgens, I never understood why anybody would care. I mean, what woman is thinking, oh, geez, that guy's great, but his balls are small.
Ron, I'm going to tell you again.
Okay.
I told you this. I love saying this. The girls and the guys they've told me over the years. No one even wants these big balls around.
No, they should be inside the body, like
again, I don't want to mess with your balls, sir. It's these are your balls. These are important, but it's kind of a funny inside joke. It's like get those balls out of the way anyway. Yeah. As long as the penis works great.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? But you're saying, and I didn't realize this. I just learned. I always learn every week I learn minimum of 2 or 3 new things talking to you.
Appreciate it.
But so you're saying that when the testicles are atrophied, when your balls are shrunk, your ejaculate volume is going to go down as well?
Oh, God.
Okay.
So here's the deal on this. Here's the truth on this.
Okay.
After years on being on replacement androgen,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's injections, versus pellets versus gels, depending on who you are and your age. And again, steroid users come in, their testicles are atrophied already beyond the point of regaining them.
Right.
They're not coming back. No, every urologist who knows this will agree with me, and no one's going to argue this. No one's arguing me ever on this one. So if you let's just this is a man show. If you're having sex every day,
Sure.
which your libido is super great, and if you don't have disease of your vasculature and your penis is working with the nitric oxide and with or without the Viagra and everything's great, you have great erections. You have sex 2 or 3 times a day, which is great. Once, twice, 3 times. You're going to be shooting black. You're going to be shooting air.
Wow.
So, and men complain about, and rightly so, they should complain. Men should complain if they have little balls. I mean, we're men, big balls. He's got big balls. You want that. You want to be the guy with big balls.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, women in the real life, in the real streets, in the bedrooms.
Yeah.
If again, this is I'm just reporting. I'm a report of what I see. But your testicles are your ejaculate. That's one of the side effects of testosterone that I tell all men.
Yeah.
I go from head to toe. Imagine how incredible it is, Ron. I hit these guys with all this stuff. Are you sure you understand this, sir? And in the end, so sex could be really good, but then maybe it won't be so good. I mean, this is not an easy road.
Yeah. But I mean, that doesn't affect, that's just affecting, to be clear, that's affecting how much semen is coming out. It's not affecting anything else, the quality of the erection or anything like that, having these shrunken balls, is it?
Well, but here, right, so let's go into let's kick it to a high gear. There is literature and there is experiences clinically that men on testosterone initially have great sex, they have better erections, they wake up with erections, then their libidos are great, the mind. But some men at the end have problems holding an erection. And I've seen urological commentary, I can't say data, commentary that, put your thinking cap on, the testicles are atrophied. The testicles are the base. I wrote an article on this once years ago. The base of the penis is the testicles.
Yeah.
There's a doctor that, I didn't make this up, I'll find the guy's name. They're like dampers. So natural, large, normal-sized testicles, it appeared from this urology standpoint, they aided in maintaining that turgid, hard erection because the base of the penis had a socket, had a seal.
Right.
That is with the Ron.
Interesting.
This is Ron.
Oh boy.
This is what this show is about. This is super complicated, and this is beyond me. This is dampers in the base of the. The guy was drawing penises, and when you lose the dampers, you have what's called venous leak, and you can't hold. And this is true. And some urologists will check you to see if you have a problem, and you could put on the bottom of the penis, you could put one of those tight bands,
ring or something.
A ring.
Yeah.
So that's how that works, and it's like, wow. So you're trapping the blood, so you're holding the penis, and the porn stars, they kind of hold it to the base. I mean, like Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Look, Ron, this is a crazy show.
Dude, now we're talking about Ron Jeremy.
Come on, Ron.
One of the few Rons more famous than me.
Ron, let's get him on the show. Imagine him on the show.
I'd love to talk to Ron Jeremy. I think he's a cool guy.
He is a cool guy.
Have you met him?
I saw him once, but I didn't meet him.
Do you know that, this is a little wacky trivia, do you know the very first article I ever did for Muscular Development was in 2001, and it was an interview with Jenna Jameson.
No.
Honest to God truth.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I got into MD. That was my first.
Ron, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I didn't arrange it. It was a writer that used to call himself The Sandwich. I don't know if you ever remember The Sandwich, no? Josh is his real name, but the sandwich. He didn't want to do it, or he was too busy, or I don't know what the problem was, but we knew each other from corresponding on the online and stuff, and he said, "You want to do this? I don't want to do it." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do it." And yeah, I'll never forget because I was on the phone with her agent trying to figure out when she could talk to me when the first plane went into the first tower, 9/11. Yeah. I was on the phone with him, and he said, "Turn on your TV." I'm like,
holy shit. 9/11, 2001.
Right. So I was on the September 11th. That's when I was talking to Jenna's agents trying to book the interview. Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts, buddy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but this turned into a heart and sex show. This is okay.
Yeah, what the heck?
Heart and sex.
It's a man's show. You know, we think about these things.
It's just a man. This is what. So what was? Did I answer the question, Ron?
I believe you did. Yeah, it was about. He's 59. He wanted to go on Clomid after 10 years of steroid use as a younger man, and I think you talked him out of it. But he's got to go see his own doctor because you're not his doctor.
My answer is in yes. It's in a script. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, this has been quite a show, Doctor. I got to say.
Wow.
we covered.
We're getting better.
We went all over the place this time. So I want to encourage everyone once again. Go out and get your copy or get it online. America on Steroids, It's Time to Heal. You can get that at anabolicdoc.com, metabolicdoc.com. And what is your YouTube channel, Doctor?
It's, I better know that my social media guys. If you go to the Metabolic Doc, I'll know it next time.
Yeah.
If you go to the Metabolic Doc website, you'll go to the social media icon.
Yeah, click on YouTube.
Yeah, and you can go there. We're booming. We're growing fast. It's unreal. So many interviews coming in. I'm so happy. Patients flooding in. We're opening. I was designing the South Florida office with some design people today. And it's good, man. Life is really good, guys. This is like, life is really, really, really good. It's all I do is men, TRT, cardio, protection, sex. That's all I do.
All right. Well, I want to encourage anyone who's watching this on the MD on YouTube right now, please make sure you subscribe to our MD channel. We'd like that. We'd appreciate that very much. And Doctor, as always, I thank you for your time, your wisdom, your expertise, a little bit of a sense of humor here and there too. Always makes things a little more tolerable, as always. So thanks everybody for watching this week's edition of Ask the Anabolic Doc, and be sure to check us out next time.